Amanda from Pontes Books here with the Chapter 27 Vocabulary Focus for the Prince and the Pauper. The vocab focus for today is one of those that is kind of an Elizabethan specific term and one that we don't really use modern day, but is something that does come up, a handful of times in the dialogue of the story, and is something that's fun to know and fun to say. Nowadays, you hear people say, every so often there's a few phrases, but a lot of times people just say it to sound fancy. So technically our word for today is hither, but when we're talking about hither, might as well also look at the words thither and whither, because they all kind of go together. And so when we look at these words, they have to do with directions, hence the picture of the signposts having to do with where we're going. So basically, to simplify things, the terms hither, thither, and whither mean to here, to there, to where. So they are all locative or locative adverbs, and meaning they have to do with like a location that something is happening. So similar to the words here, there, and where that we use modern day. But you'll still see those words being used in the dialogue in The Prince and the Pauper. Like they might say here, they might say there, they might seem where, because the word hither and thither and whither have that to embedded into their meaning. So you wouldn't say like, I am hither, because you're not saying I am to here, you're saying I am here. I am here, this is where I am. So a lot of times these are used in questions, especially whither, obviously, because that's kind of more of a question word. So whither are you going is like, to where are you going? You wouldn't say like, whither are you? Like, where are you? You would say to where. So it has to do with kind of movement and going to a new location. Or I am going thither. I am going to there. That is where I am going. You're not there right now. That's where you're going. So then also there's just a couple other ones to throw in that are related to these. Then we also have whence, hence, and thence, which how fun are these words to say? I just love them. So whence is from where, hence is from here, and thence is from there. So again, we have that preposition embedded into the meaning of the word. So it's not just where are you, it's whence are you coming from? Like from where are you coming? And I think it's interesting because I think the word hence of all of these probably gets used the most. Although I do say here, people say like, come hither, like come over here. But otherwise, hence, that's kind of just a word that we use as a transition when we're connecting ideas. So like from here, yada, 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 you move on using that word sometimes. The other ones we don't really see as often. I don't really see whither or thither or whence or thence, especially whence and thence. You do sometimes see people quote, again, if they're trying to be fancy, like they'll be like, go back from whence you came, which is actually being redundant because you don't have to say from whence, because whence means from where. So hopefully I'm not totally confusing you with all of these meanings, but basically you can't put the word to in front of the word hither because it's already in the meaning of it. And same thing with all those other ones as well. So some example sentences. So we have a straightforward sentence just using whither. Whither are you going to school next year? Now it sounds kind of weird because we wouldn't really use that with more modern language. If you're using whither in your sentence, you would most likely be using like art and thou also in your sentence. So it feels weird to not. But basically, if you were to, this would be one way to use it. Like, to where are you going to school next year? So then our sentence from the chapter, this one actually uses hither and thither in it. So now and then a wintry wind shivered through the place and sent the snow eddying hither and thither. So it just kind of means like to here and to there, like all over the place. And nowadays to say here and there would still have the same meaning in this particular sentence. And I already gave, we don't really have other forms of the words besides I talked about the hence and the thence and things like that. But that's pretty much it for hither, thither, and whither. Hopefully you learned something. Have a good rest of your day.